My view, and I've said this quite often in recent years, is that the whole of what Dave Chappelle calls the alphabet people car has become a clown car because none of it fits together.
Hi, everybody. Auntie speaks. If you like my content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn the notification bell on. It helps me out quite a bit. So the alphabet soup is breaking apart. It is breaking apart. And you have a very large group of gays who are starting to say, wait a second, hold on. We need to rethink this. Okay. So we're going to look at Douglas Murray, who's one of my favorite commentators who is gay, and Julie Bindel, another commentator, a radical feminist. So I like maybe 50% of what she talks about, and 50% I think she's kind of kooky. But she is a lesbian, and they're going to talk about Pride and Pride Month and gays, lesbians, and transgender, and why this is not working out anymore. So let's take a look.
In this episode, we'll be discussing the topic of Pride. What is its purpose? Why do some feel disillusioned by it, while others are embraced by it? Was there a specific turning point, perhaps, where you began noticing that perhaps this togetherness with the community isn't quite working?
Well, actually, and I don't mean this in any disrespectful or rude way to my gay brothers, but we never ever asked to become lesbian and gay. We had very different needs, very different lifestyle choices, different restrictions. We were targeted by sexism as well as anti-lesbian prejudice. We were coerced into marriage. Of course, we had male violence to contend, and some of that sexism, of course, came from gay men. We were fighting the normalization of pornography, whereas this was abundant within some gay male culture, the kind of commercialized gay male culture. And so we didn't ask to become lesbian and gay.
Well, I basically take the same view as Julia, which is that lesbians and gay men didn't have very much in common from the outset, had totally different demands, totally different interests, and much more. My view, and I've said this quite often in recent years, is that the whole of what Dave Chappelle calls the alphabet people car has become a clown car because none of it fits together. The first two letters don't fit together very well. The lesbians and the gays don't have very much in common. Everyone's suspicious of bisexuals. A lot of people just don't believe they exist particularly, or at least think that it's, bi now, gay later, as they used to say. Then the trans people come along. They have nothing in common with any of the other people in the grouping, because that's about the mysterious gender unicorn nonsense, where you can suddenly be whatever sex you want to be, depending on how you feel that morning when you get out of bed, which has nothing to do with being gay or being lesbian, which is certainly not a choice, because who wants a choice of, certainly for most of history, making their life a bit harder?
Have you ever thought of that? I have not. I have thought about the T doesn't make any sense with the L, the G, and the B, because T is completely different. Even Blair White, a transgender person, I think she calls herself a transsexual, has said many times that they don't fit together. But have you even thought of that the L and the G really don't fit together, because what their issues, their needs, the stuff that they want to concentrate on and improve in their own community really don't match. So it's this tribalism of trying to place people in groups. And Douglas Murray just is so awesome because he puts humor along with this, but it really makes you think that these groups don't really fit together at all. One is immutable. I do believe people are born gay. Because, why would you want to make your life harder? Not that it's bad to be gay, but your life is a little harder than it is for someone who is heterosexual. So, these groups don't have anything in common.
So the T people come along and help turn it into a total clown car. And then you get the disaster of the thing extending and extending until you get the asexuals thrown in. As I always like to say, there's no bigger difference in nature than that between asexuals and gay men. You get... you get into this two-spirit people. What's that? It's something to do with Native Americans. Okay, what have Native Americans got to do with lesbians in Brighton and London? Nothing at all. In other words, this has just become a great big messy soup of people, mainly in recent years, of people saying, I want a bit of that. I've objected actually to it most of my life, to the whole pride thing. Mainly on taste grounds, it has to be said. I don't mind. I very much enjoy having a party. I don't begrudge anyone having a party. I do begrudge people mistaking their sexuality for some massively important signifier, which demands that other people then not just respect them, but pay them some special dues. And actually, in actual fact, you could see this. So I've stumbled across Pride a couple of times in my time. I've never gone, but I've stumbled across it a few times. And one of the things is, on a simple matter of aesthetics and taste that I deeply dislike, is seeing a bunch of disco gays on top of a bus waving to the public as if they're celebrities. Sorry, love, you're not a celebrity, you're just gay.
Yes. None of this makes any sense. Used to be LGBT. Now it's 2IA plus A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And we all know what's happening. We all know. We all know people are adding extra letters to be part of the group. They want to be special. And there's nothing special about you. I'm sorry. Because you like to sleep with a man does not make you special.
To talk about the hellish kind of clown car, which is a great phrase, Douglas, I love that. The LGBTQI2 Spirit Plus now is resembling more of an unbreakable Wi-Fi code than it is anything that speaks to same-sex attracted people, which is, of course, what we should be talking about. We have something in common, even though, one side are men and one side are women. The gender woo-woos that have come in are just absolutely bonkers. And you're right that they target women. They target lesbians in particular. They really hate us. They target women because if you think about the clever ruse of trans activism, what it's done is it's positioned me as, they would say, a cis woman, as the oppressor of a trans woman. So therefore, the oppressor class, the privileged class, whether you believe in patriarchy or not, whether you think women are oppressed, we all know that there's a disadvantage that women face in life compared to like men. And we are now the oppressor of men who identify as women. Now, right, just a new men's rights movement, but this time it's populated in the main, and I'm not letting the right wing off the hook for misogyny, not at all, but it's populated in the main by men who claim to be leftists, Owen Jones, for example, who say that they're progressive. But I think, in my mind, my opinion, really hate women that are too big for our boots.
Yeah.
So long as they're shouting the loudest and we're in tow, they don't mind. But my God, do they hate us feminists, and they give us a good kicking via the trans ideology and the slur of transphobia.
Yeah. Now, Julie Bindel is a big feminist. She is feminist, a feminist, and feminist. She believes in the patriarchy. She thinks everything is misogynist. That's the 50% that I don't agree with her on. I don't believe there's a patriarchy that's holding women down. But I do agree with her on this. Trans is a misogynistic movement. It is. Because you are now in a position where men are dangerous. Men are the patriarchy. This is what feminists tell us. But all of a sudden, you put that man in a dress and he can scream at a woman, and he is the one being oppressed, not her. She is the oppressor of the man wearing the dress. How did we get to this place? Should we see a clip? Here you go.
You're being transphobic, Karen. Now get out.
Not call me transphobic.
You are transphobic. Now get out.
I want a refund.
Yeah? Would that be acceptable if that person didn't call themselves trans? I don't think so.
which is the transformation of our societies from societies that admire and validate heroism into societies that admire and seek to have victimhood. And so the 2IAGQ plus LG bus people are basically a group of people who want victimhood. Well, screw that. I'm not a victim. Julie's not a victim. We're not victims. We don't live our lives as victims. But there's a certain type of heterosexual male in particular who wants a bit of the victimhood pie. They have the disaster, and it is a disaster in our era, to be born a white, cis, heterosexual male. They've got this terrifying disadvantage from the first of their life, which is that they can't claim victimhood. But now you can. There was a sort of low-grade lecturer at University of Oxford a few years ago who said that he was congratulated by a student who said, "It's so wonderful to see myself represented by a tutor as a queer student." The tutor in question apparently, I think, put nail polish on or something and is married to a woman. Sorry, you're not queer. You're boringly straight. You're just straight. And that's fine. You know, some of my best friends are straight. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think we should all live and let live. But this guy has realized in our era to be straight, that's not enough. So he thinks, oh, I'll paint my nails and then I'll call myself queer. Sorry. And also for some of us, queer isn't a nice word. We didn't like hearing that word. We didn't like hearing that word from straight people when it was hurled at gay people in the street. And we don't like it being used by straight people who want a bit of the sodding victimhood pie. And that's what we're seeing.
Little Talcum X, Owen Jones, is there saying that they now have straight people talking about pride. They have straight people denigrating our month of pride. Well, first of all, how does he know that Hadley doesn't occasionally dye her hair blue, which would make her queer? And secondly, what is the cue, right? Are they straight men that are so queer they don't wash their car on a Sunday? Who are the aromantics and asexuals? In what way does that make them queer? I know lots of single people who can't be asked, can't be fagged to have a relationship, maybe not even sex. What on earth what makes them queer? Most of the queer identified people on that rainbow list are heterosexuals. Yeah. With a bit of a daft hairdo.
Oh, and let's add one other to the list, which is a totally fictitious group that call themselves non-binary. Non-binary means look at me. Look at me. I want attention. I'm coming out as non-binary, and they always say, "Oh, I've got a big announcement. I've really been. I mean, like guys, like I've been like waiting for ages to say this, and I'm trying to build up the courage, but I'm non-binary." You go, well, that's about the biggest boring announcement anyone can make. There is no satisfactory definition of non-binary that I've come across apart from "look at me."
Mic drop. Right? They are saying what all of us have been thinking, but we're too afraid to say. Hey, I'm too afraid to say it. Look at me. I'm a cat. I can't show my face. I can't because I have a job. I just do this on the side because I like to talk and I got things to say. But they're saying what we are all thinking. And for the first time ever, acceptance of LGBT is going down in the United States. And it's not going down because of the L, the G, and the B. It is going down because of the craziness of all the other letters. Not the normal T's. There's a bunch of normal T's out there. I love them. Buck Angel, the offensive tranny, Blair White. They are just people trying to live their lives. And I really hate what Matt Walsh is doing. Some of the stuff he's doing is super, super important. But Michael Knowles and Matt Walsh denying that people are trans, that trans has been around forever, and there are people that are trans, that's not helpful either. So we have to find a middle road here. We do have to find a middle road. And please, we all need to start speaking out. Queer is a bad word. It's not a good word. It's not. If you're a certain generation, that was a slur. So let's bring sanity back. The link for the full video is in the description. Please click on it and watch the full video. It's really, really awesome. Please like, comment, and subscribe and help me get out there. I will see you guys on the next one.